Thank you. Good afternoon, students, teachers, and honored guests. I'm here today because I was the victim of a drunk driver. I was on my way to work at 8 o'clock in the morning when a drunk driver crossed the center line and hit me head on. In the 100-mile-per-hour impact, my face was ripped apart from my skull and my facial bones were crushed to powder. The doctor told my husband to plan for my funeral. I wouldn't live through the night. I survived, but I am one of the fortunate ones. Most victims of drunk driving crashes don't live to tell their story. That's why I'm so passionate about being here today to share my story with you. I don't want what happened to me to happen to any of you or your loved ones. Now, the man that hit me that morning made a decision to get in his car and drive after he'd been drinking all night. That one bad choice has caused me a lifetime of pain. This man had 3 previous DUIs. He was driving without a license the morning he hit me. And he had 4 previous DUI crashes before he hit me. He had a .22 blood alcohol content. That's almost 3 times the normal limit. All it takes is 3 seconds of either your eyes or your mind off the road to have a fatal crash. Now that goes for texting, or any type of distracted driving, like eating or even drinking a soft drink. 3 seconds is not very long. Is it worth it to send a quick text if it means losing your life or killing someone else? The 2 of them dragged me out of the car and put me down in the road. This nurse checked for a pulse. I had no pulse. I was not breathing. I was bleeding from my mouth, my ears, my nose. This nurse quickly cleared the blood out of my mouth, resuscitated me, and called an ambulance. Now it's interesting to note that the BMW, the design, the engine dropped on impact. If I had been in my other car, the engine would have crushed me. So the engine dropped, and you can see how the hood just came back in an accordion fashion. It's just a miracle that I survived. The steering wheel hit my face, and that's what caused my facial injuries. My nose was broken. My jaw was broken in 3 places. I had a broken pelvis. But the worst was the traumatic brain injury that put me in critical condition. They told my husband, "I think your wife is blind. Her eyes do not react to light." Well, my husband was devastated. Can you imagine your family, what they would feel? But when he walked into that intensive care room and took one look at me, he said it looked like somebody took a baseball bat and just bashed in my face. My head was swollen to twice its normal size. I was black and blue and unrecognizable. Plan for your daughter's funeral. She's not going to live through the night. Very first picture on day 5. Now my sister said, "You look good in this picture." This is me. Most of the swelling had gone down. So this is when I look good in a 6-hour surgery. Can you imagine 6 hours? They took forceps and picked all the tiny bone fragments, one by one, out of my skin. Then they had to wire my face back to my skull. It was a very tedious surgery. And then they had to wire my mouth shut. And with my mouth wired shut in the hospital, they fed me intravenously. But when I got home and looked in the mirror for the first time, I saw a face that was not my own. Can you imagine? looking at yourself and seeing someone and it's not your face. At that moment, I wished I'd have died in the crash. I didn't want to live. It was horrible. I'd write in my diaries, I'm ugly, I hate myself. I had the lowest self-esteem you can imagine. 5, and I never looked the same after 5 more surgeries. They took pieces of Teflon to put where my cheekbones were blown away. They took cartilage from behind my ear to fill in where my eyes were knocked out of their sockets. Surgery after surgery, I thought I'd be back to that beautiful young woman again, but it didn't happen. Then they took a piece of hip bone. They had to carve out a piece of my hip bone to build me a nose, and then I had pain in my hip and in my nose. Now you can see in this picture before and after. Before the crash, I had long almond-shaped eyes. People always used to compliment me on my beautiful eyes. Then after the crash, I have deep-set eyes. The way I knew they were so deep-set, I tried to curl my eyelashes with an eyelash curler. I could not reach my eyelashes. Can you imagine? The eyelash curler would not reach my eyelashes because my eyes were so knocked back in my head. Now I want to close with a story about a man in my Toastmaster club who gave a speech. And he started his speech with, where are the most speakers, authors, musicians, artists, entrepreneurs? Where are they? And we all looked around and we said, we don't know. And he said, in the graveyard, so many people live and die with the book they never wrote, the product they never invented, the business they never started. Students, don't let that be you. Don't let one bad choice to drink and drive cut your life short. I read in the paper all the time, young 16, 17-year-olds getting killed prematurely, never fulfilling their dream. And that is just such a sad, sad thing. But with all the adversity that I had, with having a blind eye and the traumatic brain injury and all that I did, think how much more you can do. Now, how many students are artists, love to draw? Raise your hand. Artists. Great. Musicians. How many are musicians? Woohoo! How many want to write a book? How many writers? Okay. Very good. So many talented people. Parents, teachers, encourage your students. You don't want to be like Walt Disney's dad that didn't give him the encouragement he needed. My father never gave me the encouragement. But as for me, through all I've been through, if I can just save one life through what I went through, it would be worth all the pain and suffering I had to endure. Y'all have a great afternoon and stay safe.